Wigglesworth, A.A. Allen. Am I saying this thing for the first time? This happened over 25 years ago. One day, I was in the spirit and saw myself lifted up and was over a particular city. Just over the city, and I was watching. At that time, I didn't understand why God wanted me to just have one view of a whole city at once, from up. Shortly after that, I saw myself seated with three ancient people. John Wesley, Wigglesworth, A.A. Allen. Am I saying this thing for the first time? This happened over 25 years ago. You are aware. I knew each person. How I knew, just in the realm of the spirit, you have inside information. You know like you are known. You don't need anybody to introduce anybody to you. We're talking, we're fellowshipping, we're interacting. Everything that was the product of that interaction is a deposit in the spirit. Number 4 are miracles of celestial and divine visitations and manifestations. Celestial and divine visitations and manifestations. The realm where the celestial and the terrestrial are fellowshipping and mingling with each other effortlessly. In Luke chapter 9 verse 29, Jesus had told them, he said, many of you will not die until you have seen the Son of Man in glory. And as he prayed, the fashion of his countenance was altered, and his raiment was white and glistering. And behold, they had talked with him 2 men, which were Moses and Elijah. These are celestial beings now, who appeared in glory, inside glory, and spake of his disease, which he should accomplish at Jerusalem. Peter, James, and John didn't see them in vision. They saw them physically. It's like the way Jacob wrestled with a man. It wasn't a spiritual wrestle, it was physical until they broke his tie. We are in the seasons of divine manifestations, angelic manifestations. We have come to Zion, unto an innumerable company of angels, unto the spirits of just men made perfect. Who are these just men made perfect? The spirits of just men who have gone ahead. Jeremiah, Elijah, Isaiah, Amos, John the Baptist, Paul the Apostle, Peter. In meetings, certain meetings, they step into the assembly to just see what we are doing. Are these people able to carry this mantle? Are they able to run the race from where we stopped? Are they doing well? They step in there at times with their mantles for dropping. Yeah, spirit of just men made perfect, that have been perfected. That is one of the things that we see in Mount Zion. You have come to Mount Zion. Back up a little bit. You have come to Mount Zion. You have come to Mount Zion. But you are come, yes, but you are come unto Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, to an innumerable company of angels, to the general assembly of the church of the firstborn, which are written in heaven, and to God, the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect. Every time we appear in Zion, angels are innumerable, and the spirits of just men are available. And if you behave well, you can catch Elijah's mantle. You behave well, you can catch Peter's mantle. Oh, if you are understanding and you have insight, you can catch Jeremiah's mantle, Marshall and Prophet Samuel's mantle, the man whose words did not fall to the ground. Am I communicating at all? You see, in the glory, there are celestial, divine, angelic, heavenly visitations and manifestations happen effortlessly. And before this conference is over, I see manifestations, I see visitations, I see encounters. You believe that? Say the loudest amen. One day, I was in the spirit and saw myself lifted up and was over a particular city. Just over the city, and I was watching. At that time, I didn't understand why God wanted me to just have one view of a whole city at once, from up. Shortly after that, I saw myself seated with three ancient people: John Wesley, Smith Wigglesworth, A.A. Allen. Am I saying this thing for the first time? This happened over 25 years ago. You are aware. You are aware. I knew each person. How I knew, just in the realm of the spirit, you have inside information. You know like you are known. You don't need anybody to introduce anybody to you. We're talking, we're fellowshipping, we're interacting. Everything that was the product of that interaction is a deposit in the spirit. Is God speaking to someone here? At another time, I saw the Archbishop Benson Dahusa, and he said, I needed to give you your honor and your graduation gown. I have given other people, I haven't given you yet. Then he gave me many suits, plus many ties. I shared it with his son the other day. He said, really? Then I have to look for the physical tie and shoe and bring to you. We met physically. He asked us to come, me and my wife, to meet him in Benin. He passed before the time he gave us. Angelic visitations, celestial visitations, divine visitations, and encounters. You see, we have so many things we don't talk about. The first one I told you is something that happened before I became a pastor. And you are hearing that now in detail for the first time. True apostles and prophets are not talkative, they are not loquacious. When you see somebody talking too much about, I did this, I saw this, something is wrong somewhere. There are some things that are too sacred to share. There are people that have built whole ministries on such stories. One after the other, after such stories. There are plenty. There are some we can't say with our mouth. Paul the Apostle said there are revelations, there are things I have seen that I can't share with you.